Problem number one, the weight of expectations. Last season, no one seriously expected Liverpool to win the Premier League.
I don't think a new manager can come in and just pick up the reins from Klopp and challenge City and maybe Arsenal straight away. I don't. I'm going to go fourth.
New coach, a transfer window with almost no big moves, a squad that was fully built for Jurgen Klopp. Everyone thought it would be a transition year, a season to rebuild, to adapt, nothing more.
It's going to take some time, to get the team to perform as how he wants. So I would say third, and then in the next season, the second season, they will really fight for the championship.
No one imagined they'd become a real threat.
Salah on his own, and now Szoboszlai, yes! Yes for Liverpool!
They crushed City. They went head-to-head with Mikel Arteta's project.
The cross, great chance, they've equalised, and it's Salah.
And in just 1 year, Arne Slot won a bigger trophy than Arteta has in 6. Liverpool won the Premier League. Against all odds, against all predictions. In a season that was supposed to be just a rebuild, they flipped the script and took the crown. But now, the expectations are higher than ever.
Let's say with the amount of spending that they've done, because this is very almost uncharacteristic of Liverpool to go out and really make a splash with so much money, like specifically this in one transfer window. What do they do walk away trophyless? That dials up the pressure for next season.
Absolutely, yeah. It also depends how you compete too. Yeah. Like, are you going down to the last day and you're fighting for a Premier League title? Do you go to a Champions League semi-final? And now the expectations, they absolutely have risen.
For the 2025-26 season, just winning the Premier League won't be enough. After showing they could compete in Arne Slot's very first season, Liverpool fans want more than just one trophy, they want the treble. The FA Cup, the Premier League, and the dream of lifting the Champions League again. And the pressure isn't just on Slot, it's on the players too.
They always say, coaches that have won before, they say it's very difficult to win, but what's even more difficult is winning again. Because going back to back is nearly impossible, right? There's very few that are able to achieve that.
Yeah,
but I think
City.
Except City. But there's outliers, of course. But they're also signing certain players who are at a level that they're not young players that we have question marks about. Frimpong is an amazing player. Florian Wirtz is an amazing player. They're helping raise that level, and I see them as the clear favorites for the Prem.
Take Mohamed Salah, for example. Mohamed Salah is one of the greatest players in Liverpool's history. Since joining the Premier League in 2017, he's ranked first in goals with 182, first in total shots reaching 1,025, first in goal contributions with 267, first in open play assists with 76, and first in touches inside the opponent's box, making 2,489. He's also fourth on the all-time Premier goal scorers list, behind only Alan Shearer, Harry Kane, Wayne Rooney, and Andy Cole. With 184 goals, he's now tied with Sergio Aguero and just 4 goals away from passing Cole. But as the 2025-26 season begins, Salah carries a huge weight. He has to keep up the same level that made him one of the top contenders for the Ballon d'Or last season. In 2024-25, he scored 32 goals and delivered 22 assists in just 45 matches. He created 89 chances and took 146 shots. It was a world-class campaign. Yes, Salah has the pressure of being Liverpool's best player for years, and now fans expect nothing less than another legendary season. Anything different would be a drop-off. He's not getting any younger.
Maintain that level. You look at Salah's numbers, there hasn't really been a drop-off. Sure, some years it's more, some years it's less, maybe more goals, less assists, more assists, less goals, but it's a steady production rate, and he understands what he needs to do for the next season.
But even so, he still has the experience, the fitness, the mentality, and above all, the discipline and hunger to bring more silverware to Anfield.
Us 31, we're talking about how much? 31, 32? What's Salah's age?
32.
32,
yeah.
We're talking about him like he's 36 years old. Mm-hmm. I'm 32. Like there's still a youthful essence to him, and he shows it every single week. I know we're obsessed with intensity and youth and 23-year-olds counter-pressing and
experience, IQ. I got to watch him firsthand this season at Bournemouth, where he scored 2, a pen and a beautiful curler in the second half. This guy isn't slowing down.
Since 2017, Salah has won just a handful of major trophies with the Reds. 1 Champions League, 2 Premier League titles, and 1 FA Cup. That's not enough for a player of his caliber. He knows it, the fans know it. And with Arne Slot now in charge, the mission is clear. Give Salah the team and the tools to win it all again, but make no mistake, the pressure isn't just on Mo.
You sign players to compete against the PSG and also win a Premier League title, and that's why I go back to the pressure. Look, you said it, that the pressure dials up when you make these signings.
Liverpool has spent over €300 million on new signings. These aren't long-term projects. They're expected to deliver from day one. Florian Wirtz, for example, brings goals, assists, creativity, and control to the midfield.
An extra. The people say that I pay a ticket to see players make something different. I think that with Florian arriving to Liverpool give you that extra. Not only that you go to see your team win, but also to see a nice football happening on the field. So I think this is one of those special players.
He was the heart of Bayer Leverkusen's system.
If you looked at Bayer Leverkusen last year, quite often they played a 3, a 4. If you went into the sort of the lineups and the tactics, they'd play a 3 or 4 and Wirtz and one other behind the striker. But it was interesting when he was not available. Xabi Alonso completely changed the way they did it. They went 3-5-2, or they went 4 at the back and 5 in midfield. So he was a guy that basically they built.
He wasn't just good, he was spectacular. With 16 goals and 15 assists in the 2024-25 campaign, and 18 goals and 20 assists the year before, he's proven to be one of the most complete attacking players in Europe. Whether it's as a left winger, right winger, attacking midfielder, or even a false 9, Wirtz can do it all. But now comes the real test. The Premier League isn't the Bundesliga, and there's a long list of players who've come from Germany and flopped in England. Jadon Sancho, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, all arrived with hype and huge price tags, only to struggle with consistency, intensity, or the physical demands of the league. Wirtz was signed for £116 million. That's not just a price tag, that's a spotlight. He doesn't get a grace period. He has to hit the ground running and prove that he's the real deal, not another Bundesliga mirage. Also, Wirtz was signed with the future in mind. He's expected to step up once Mohamed Salah eventually leaves Liverpool in a few years. He's the offensive future of the team.
If Mo Salah in particular fails to replicate the standard he has set and the goals tally he has set, which you know, his goals tally, a bit like Ronaldo and Messi in a sense, is akin to a number 9. Now, for him to do that again and again and again is difficult. So if his numbers drop by 50%, somebody else, and that still would be a good season, somebody else has to step.
Can he handle the speed, the physicality, and the relentless pressure of Premier League football? Will he thrive like Salah, or fade like so many others? That's the question. And it's one that will define his first season at Anfield, and possibly Liverpool's entire campaign. Because if Wirtz delivers, Liverpool's attack becomes one of the most dangerous in the world. But if he struggles, it could be a very long season.
I think it's something different, and I know that he has done a great job in the Bundesliga, but he needs to adapt to the intensity, to the friction, to the battle of Premier League, and I'm looking forward to see if he can handle those moments.
There's only one man. There's only one man. Listen, Arne Slot, whatever happens with Liverpool this year, you know, if they don't win the league, disappointing. That's it. Disappointing.
Problem number 2. The defence. Liverpool's biggest concern heading into the new season isn't their attack, it's their back 4.
If you did sign a centre-back this summer, who would you want it to be?
We definitely need one. I think we could have this perfect window and not sign a centre-back, and I wouldn't call it a perfect window. Because Konate and Van Dijk, while I think they're both unbelievably good, and whoever comes in would naturally be a drop-off in quality, we can't be in a situation where we have to play Endo or Gravenberch at centre-back, because I think the knock-on effect on the team isn't.
Sure, Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate are world-class, but beyond them, things get shaky. Joe Gomez is solid, but far from consistent. And the club's attempt to find a long-term replacement for Van Dijk didn't go as planned. They were eyeing Dean Huijsen, a young star touted as the next big thing in defence. But he chose Real Madrid instead. That left Liverpool scrambling. And ultimately, they didn't bring in a proper centre-back. Instead, they joined the big spending race, pouring money into flashy attacking signings like Frimpong and Kierkegaard. And while that makes headlines, it creates a dangerous imbalance.
Right now, the team looks very, very balanced. Maybe a little bit the imbalance at the back, the line of 4 I could see that bringing another centre back could help to rest players that for a long season can be in danger of risking an injury, and then you're going to be in trouble. But that's the philosophy of the club at the moment. You can see them that they are focused on strength the front line.
Right now, if either Van Dijk or Konate goes down with an injury, and with a 50-game season, that's a real possibility. Who steps in? Wataru Endo might be the only backup option who can slot into central defence, but that's more of a patch than a solution. There's no real depth, no long-term stability in that backline. Even worse, the new fullbacks are built for offence. Frimpong is a wing-back who thrives going forward. Milos Kerkez is dynamic, explosive, and constantly overlapping. But neither is known for their defensive solidity. So what happens when Liverpool faces teams with pace and width? There could be gaps.
Here's the problem, though. It becomes a broken team at times and stretched. You got a back line and you got your two center backs, and then you got everybody else besides whoever is holding the line in the midfield. They're all going. A little light in the midfield, which then exposes them to counterattack opportunities. So this is something that I think they're going to have to address. You have a lot of attack-minded players. Do you have enough balance to account for potential counterattack opportunities from other teams? And if we're seeing it, teams that are preparing to play Liverpool in the upcoming season, they're seeing it as well. If you're able to break through that first line of pressure, they're light in numbers in the midfield, you can get after them in the attack.
Problem number 3, integrating the new players. The idea of Salah, Wirtz, Ekitike, and Isak all playing together is thrilling. On paper, it looks like a nightmare for defenders. 4 explosive players with skill, pace, and creativity. But here's the catch. It's not a natural fit. You've got Wirtz, a number, 10th Salah, a classic right winger, then 2 natural number 9s, Isak and Ekitike. So how does Arne slot make this all work?
So good luck to whoever's trying to work out what formation we play this season, because I don't think even Liverpool.
First, let's talk Salah. He's done it all. Since 2017, he's adapted to every partner thrown his way. Firmino, Mane, Diaz, Gakpo. He scores, he assists, he leads. And even at 33, he's showing no signs of slowing down, but he needs support.
So I think, Salah was great last season, but he needs more support. He was the safety blanket for Darwin Núñez when he came on. He was the pass he always looked to as the out. There was too much of that last year where we became too predictable. The only aspect which I think feels predictable now is that people are going to say you have to win the title.
Now, with Wirtz feeding him from behind and a striker like Isak dragging defenders out of position, Salah might have even more space to work with. But it's also true, the goals might be more evenly spread now. Salah won't need to carry the load alone, and with the Africa Cup of Nations taking him away for part of the season, that might be a blessing in disguise. Then there's Wirtz. He's the brain of the operation. The 22-year-old playmaker is pure class. He doesn't need to score every match because he creates the moments before the goal. He drifts into space, he sees passing lanes no one else does, and he delivers the killer ball. Whether he's playing behind Salah and Isak or linking up with Ekitike, Wirtz will make this attack click. The question is really about the number 9 spot. If Liverpool break the bank, and they probably will, to sign Isak for over £120 million, they're not bringing him in to sit on the bench. Isak must lead the line.
I think if he comes, it's like the names it should be getting written right now,
Wow.
But I sort of look at Salah, Isak, Gakpo, Wirtz,
Firepower's ridiculous.
Ekitike, you've got 80 plus goals there, and I just think, you got to push the boat again.
Yes, he's played on the left at Newcastle before, but he's a completely different beast when he's the main striker. That's where he's lethal. Which leaves us with Ekitike, a £69 million wildcard. He's talented, no doubt, but he's not the finished product yet. And no one drops that kind of money just to bench a young star. Slot has a dilemma. Rotate them, change systems, or go bold and play all 4.
It means that when you look at the team sheet, you probably lay it out as like a 4-2-3-1. But there's different points where, depending on defensive style, depending on how the opposition's lining up, Liverpool are just so adaptable. And it's so interesting to see history repeat itself, where we had the era under Shankly of Liverpool are this brilliant, everyone's charismatic, and we're playing that style of football. Then Paisley came in and said, we're going to play any style we want to. You want us to pass? Great, we're going to do that. You want to go over the top? We're going to do that. You think you're going to do X? We're going to...
So, could Arne Slot actually change the entire formation to make this attack work? Well, he might have to, because if the goal is to get Salah, Wirtz, Isak and Ekitike all on the field at the same time, the most logical, or rather the most radical option is switching to a 4-2-2-2 system. That would mean Isak and Ekitike together up front, Salah on the right, and Wirtz operating from a more left-sided playmaker role. It's bold, it's risky, but it might be the only way to keep everyone happy and dangerous. Interestingly, when Slot talked about alternatives to Gakpo on the left, he did mention Wirtz and Ngumoha, but not Ekitike. That says a lot, because while Ekitike thrived at Frankfurt alongside Omar Marmoush in a classic two-striker setup, he's not exactly a natural wide player. His strength is in movement, quick link-ups and sneaky runs into the box, not hugging the touchline, and that's where things get tricky. Isak and Ekitike, they're cut from a similar cloth. Both tall, quick, technical strikers who like to roam and attack central zones. Putting them together might sound exciting, but it could get messy if they end up stepping on each other's toes, quite literally. But Slot isn't just any manager. He lives for tactical fluidity, and you can imagine him using that to his advantage. Maybe Wirtz drifts inside to act as a second number 10. Maybe Ekitike drops into midfield to receive and spin. Maybe Salah gets more space on the right as everyone else shifts. It's not about rigid positions, it's about chemistry, movement, timing. And if they get it right, Liverpool could have one of the most flexible, unpredictable and terrifying attacking systems in Europe. Problem number 4, lack of depth in certain positions. In the process of building one of Europe's most exciting front lines, Arne Slot may have created serious depth problems elsewhere, problems that could haunt Liverpool deep into the season. We've already talked about the defensive line. There's no solid backup behind Van Dijk and Konate, but now the midfield is starting to show cracks too. Not in quality, but in balance. Gravenberch and McAllister are two of the most dynamic midfielders in Europe. Both can defend, both can push forward, both are box-to-box machines with high work rates. But the problem is, they're being asked to do everything, and there's no true defensive anchor to protect the backline.
No one hates Curtis Jones as an option or Endo as a kind of a human victory cigar. Like there are a lot of, it's true, there are a lot of, that we have a good rotation at midfield. I don't see Alexis leaving this summer. But broadly, I think Liverpool have shown they won't move for any target. They'll move for...
Sure, Wataru Endo's there. He's a warrior. But can he be the lone pivot for 50+ matches across 4 competitions? That's a big ask. And after that, there's no Rodri, no Tonali, no Casemiro, no Fabinho, the man who used to glue Klopp's Liverpool together during their peak years. That role, the classic holding midfielder, is missing.
Height shouldn't define his career. But I think in this new era of football where like everyone, so many physical players everywhere, you want the most physical.
Yes, Liverpool's squad is terrifying on paper, but real football isn't played on paper. Because while Arne Slot has a team that can score 4 or 5 goals on any given night, the Premier League has never been more dangerous. Manchester City aren't slowing down.
They will be ready to hit the ground running. I think Manchester City will have to still figure some things out. I'm still not certain that they've solved the centre back issue. They're going to go for a goalkeeper, it looks like, and James Trafford coming in from Burnley. So I think if they can maybe attack that goalkeeping issue, that certainly was a problem. It has been a problem over these last 18 months for City. But I just think that City are going to go back to being a really fun, creative, enterprising team. I think they've kind of torqued towards being good in counter-attack defense rather than be exciting and expressive. So I'm a believer in Tijani Reinders. I'm a believer in that midfield and all the attacking pieces that they have.
With Ryan Cherki joining and Pep fully reloaded with a healthy Rodri, Foden and Haaland, they're once again the favourites. Chelsea are no joke either. Cole Palmer is entering his prime. Estevao is a rising star and Juan Pedro has exploded. Arsenal, they just added Victor Gyökeres. And 2 midfield beasts in Zubimendi and Nørgaard. Everyone wants the crown. And here's the problem. Liverpool might not be ready defensively to survive this war. Van Dijk and Konate are elite, but beyond them, the bench looks shaky. The midfield lacks a true destroyer. And every other top team's built for high-speed, high-pressure football, exactly the kind of chaos that exposes thin backlines. But here's the twist. Even if Liverpool concede 2 or 3 goals, they can still win. Why? Because offensively, they're monsters.
I mean, we talk about Liverpool and what type of champions they're going to be. In the 32 Premier League games this season, in 28 of them, they've scored 2 or more goals. So they always create chances, they always score goals, and that's been the big difference between themselves and Arsenal, because defensively there's nothing, to choose between the two teams, but they're far better going forward.
With Salah, Isak, Ekitike, Wirtz, Gakpo, they can blow teams apart, yeah.
Here's Gravenberch, and it's in now! Liverpool have their second. Gakpo, still got it,
Gyökeres and Frimpong bring fire on the flanks.
You played against Mo and now you're playing with him. How tough of an opponent was he?
Yeah, obviously toughest one in the league. Yeah, will be obviously big thing, big player, and really dangerous player. So it's good to have him in my team now. We had some good battles over the last couple of games, but yeah, very tough, very strong, quick feet, and really genius. So it will be good to have him now to put balls on the second post for him.
Alisson and Mamardashvili are two of the best keepers in Europe. The midfield stacked with McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Jones and Wirtz. And in the centre of it all, Arne Slot, the man who won a Premier League with a squad not even built for him, the man who turned Feyenoord into a competitive team, the man chosen to continue Klopp's legacy. Yes, the challenge is brutal, but if there's one coach who can make this puzzle work, it's him.